guess we could start with a selfish perspective, which would be if you're growing a vegetable garden, pollinators are going to drive up your yield. So if you're growing tomatoes, peppers, okra, those all need to be pollinated by bees. So by planting these, you'll definitely see a tremendous jump in your yield. Moving away to more of an environmental diversity perspective, it would be good for you to have a more diverse species of insects, types of insects. And that's also going to be the building blocks of our birds and so on. It's where everything starts. So with these plants, you would create the habitat space that these insects specifically need. So with these 4 plants, you would see at least an extra dozen native bees. Although we're all familiar with honeybees are the ones that make honey. We have hundreds of different native bees, and these would be more specifically around to cater for those. So as you watch your plants grow, you'll see a number of these different species come out. I would encourage you to use resources like the internet, iNaturalist, Google Lens to identify them. It's a very fascinating world of insects. So main thing when you're seeding things, the number one thing that I see people doing is they're pushing things too deep into the ground. I would advise that you just use a couple of seeds. We're going to provide you with more than enough to do several different cups. And I'm just sprinkling a few in here. This is probably 10 seeds, which is plenty. You could do just fine with 5. And I'm just brushing them in. I'm not pushing them in that far, just brushing them in. Okay, so that's the Coreopsis. The Coreopsis is probably the taller one out of the 4 that I've given you. This one's Indian Blanket. And the depth of your seed is going to be proportionate to the size. These are a little bit bigger than the others. So maybe you could just push them to where they're slightly below the soil level, like that. The bee balm has a very small seed. If you'll notice, these are not very big. So I would advise you to just sprinkle them on top and then just nudge them into the soil. And that's it. The last seed is also very small, Black Eye Susan. So we'll plant it much the same way we did the Coreopsis. And we'll just need a couple of seeds to get going. I'd say 5 to 10 seeds, and you're definitely going to get a plant out of this. Now, when you're watering from the top, I wouldn't water with something too heavy. If you could, spritz it, or put it in a pan of water and allow it to absorb from the bottom up. Now, if you're doing this outside, you can do it the exact same way in our native soil. These seeds will germinate outside just fine, and they will do just fine in our native soil without any beds or special prep. Just cover them lightly and plant them in full sun.